Hey, everybody, if you're listening to Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me, and you listen to it on a regular basis, you listen to Sleep With Me on a regular basis, Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me and Sleep With Me, either or both make your life better, please consider supporting the show so we can keep putting these episodes out week after week, year after year. It's only possible through listener support. So if it's meaningful for you and you want like 900 ad-free story-only episodes, 1,400 ad-free full episodes, bonus episodes, go to sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Do it now. Set up the bonus content tomorrow. But sign up right now so we can keep the show going, and you'll have access to all this amazing stuff. You can even try it out for 6 days. There's a 7-day trial, but always, make sure end it on the 6th day to be safe. And then as soon as you stop listening to the show, you could stop supporting it, but it'll make all the difference in the world to the future of the podcast and to your bedtime listening. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks. Bedtime Stories from Sleep With Me is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can find options that fit your budget and potentially lower your bills. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states. Friends beyond the binary, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for the podcaster that's here to keep you company and take your mind off of stuff so that you could fall asleep. You deserve a good night's sleep. That's why we make this show. You deserve a bedtime you could look forward to, not one you dread. And you deserve the rest you need so your life can be more manageable. So you could be out there living your life tomorrow. That's one of the reasons I make the show. The other reason is I know how it feels in the deep, dark night, tossing, turning. So do a lot of other people. We might not know exactly what you're going through, but I can probably relate to it, or someone out there can. And the show is very different. It's a meandering show where I just talk to you and keep you company, take your mind off stuff so you can fall asleep. The show starts out with support, then has a nice, long, meandering intro to help you wind down. And then there'll be a bedtime story. But it's mostly a friend in the deep, dark night. Me, here to keep you company. It does take a couple tries to get used to because I am a bit different. But if nothing's worked for you, like you've tried a bunch of different stuff, that's why this show is a bit different. Because it works for the people it works for. But it works for almost no one on the first try because you say, what is this? Is this dude still talk? I thought this was a sleep podcast. What is this? When do the bed chimes start? And I say, bed chimes. There's I don't even know what a bed chime is, but maybe I'll talk about it in a minute. But it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And these sponsors are how we're able to do this for you for free twice a week. All right, here, buddies. Scoots here. We're doing a double unboxing. We're starting with something that I did not get to. I think we did episodes with it, and we'll probably use this for some stuff in future episodes. But I just got it in the mail. It was such a surprise because I'd forgotten it was coming. And a lot of times you hear me talk about Script Notes podcast and John August and Craig Mazin. And they not to go on a huge tangent about Script Notes, but it really Sleep With Me owes a huge debt of gratitude to John and Craig. Just also, my life has been watching Craig's show, The Last of Us, and then my daughter was just in Big Fish, the musical, which John did the book for, which is based on the movie that John wrote. So. But the reason that it is such a big thing is Script Notes was not one of the first podcasts I listened to, but I started listening to Script Notes about a year or two before I made Sleep With Me. And I just remember, so John and Craig are screenwriters, and they do a show called Script Notes, which you can listen to. And they're wonderfully generous because they don't have any reason to do this show other than to be a service to people that are either in screenwriting or aspiring screenwriters or wherever you are in between, or that like listening to people and hearing about the process. I mean, or for people that like that, because they're not doing it for brand or they do consulting or even to promote their projects or get work. They just do it. I mean, honestly, I think because they know how it feels and they're just interested, like how it feels to be like, oh, this is something I want to try to do. How do I do it? Or people that are in the process of being like, well, how do I make this story work? Or what, or what is it about this story that brings me back every time? And I was in a place where, and I guess I'd have to really retrace my steps, but at some point it was like, a lot of the advice they were saying about the show, I was trying to write a couple different things but I wasn't in a place in my personal life where I was making decisions that weren't necessarily, where I couldn't build a foundation to develop the skills to become a screenwriter or like other than, like I was halfway in trying as a hobby to create stuff. And listening to script notes, they kind of talked about the process of doing it and just like, I don't know. I just get so much out of it. I didn't write out a thing of what to say. But so John August makes a product called the Writer's Super Helpful Pack. And we've talked about it on the show before, and I'll try to link to the old episodes where we used it or talked about it before. But John recently launched a version of it called the Writer's Super Helpful Pack XL. And, of course, I signed up to get it. So on the front cover, it's a larger than a car, like it's car. Well, we'll go through it. But I'm holding it in my hand right now, and it's a nice matte finish. Holy cow! And I think this is an early release that I signed up for, or a first printing. Which I probably shouldn't even have opened it, but I'm going to use it. So. But it's called the Writer's Super Helpful Pack XL. It's from Quote Unquote Press. It's by John August. And on the cover it's like some oranges and I don't know what you call that. Like, I don't know. My language, my vocabulary is so limited in colors. But it looks like a sun and then like a pinkish. Was that mauve? Is that a word? Mauve? But so there's a person, an astronaut person, and they said, oh, my ship is having an issue. And so that's the cover. And let's see, on the back side, if you're buying in a store, it says, when your story gets stuck, quoting this Writer's Super Helpful Pack, has the tools you need. Fix plot holes, spice up stock characters, rethink your themes. Writer's Super Helpful Pack gives you the questions that lead to great answers. And this pack contains 52 illustrated cards with helpful suggestions and specific tips to try, and instructions for individual and class use, plus a bonus story game, Cards Against Normality. And it's a 2022 from Quote Unquote LLC. Oh, wow. And it's bigger cards. Cool. Because I didn't know, like, the box is about the size of 2 decks of playing cards. So I was like, oh, is there 2 decks of playing cards in here? But no, they're double-sized cards. And for me, that's helps because as my eyes change as they become more vintage. So, like, cool. So I just opened the box, and the nice thing for me is, like, the cards are not wrapped again. There was only one set of wrapping. And there's the first thing that I found is the Cards Against Normality. Is a card that describes it. It's a game for 3 to 6 players, and you draw 3 cards. At the end of each round, you should have 3 cards. The oldest player goes first, and each round, you could do this with a bedtime story. We could try it like in an episode. And with each round, each storyteller begins telling a story. It could be familiar, an anecdote from real life, or something made up. When the storyteller's finished, other players have 15 seconds to choose one of their cards. And 15 seconds. Then moving clockwise, you reveal your chosen card and retell the original story based on that card's theme, describing their version in as much detail as required. After hearing all the versions, the group chooses their favorite, and then the role of storyteller switches to the next player clockwise. So you could definitely do that to put people to sleep. I could. And here's a group activity. It's found in thousands of classrooms and writers groups. And one fun way to use it is choose a premise that includes a hero and a general situation. For example, this is number 1. A mountain climber discovers a mysterious cave. Then you hand out one card to each player or team. And then players have a set amount of time, maybe 5 minutes, to figure out a rough story that uses the premise and their card. And then players present their rough stories to the group. So that's fun, too. Okay, now I'm going to spill the cards out. And we got, okay, so when I spill them out, that's when they come out. There's also a big card that says blank, please pull. So that's cool. I got a little collector's card. And so we'll start, the cards are organized. And again, I'm changing some of the language on this, keep it sleepy, but super helpful procedures. So 1, focus on the moment in the story that's causing an issue. Draw a card at random, no cheating. And then read it along with the detailed selections on the back. And this says, the card you choose might not seem to apply to your situation. Don't panic. Let the artwork, title, and suggestions trigger new ideas. So this is kind of how, like when I talk about meander points on Sleep With Me, because I've used the writer super helpful cards in the past for this. Most of these ideas will be, so maybe we'll just do random cards and I'll kind of give you an example. I don't know. Most of these ideas won't work. That's okay. The goal of the pack is to get you asking what if. Wrong turns are useful if they get you headed somewhere interesting. Okay, on the other side is a writing exercise. If you're looking to limber up your writing brain, you could try this. Pick a well-known story, movie, fairy tale, choose a card at random, read the suggestions, and then brainstorm how to apply this the idea to the story. And then 4, start writing. Could be a scene or synopsis. The point is to get some words down. Okay, so I won't. What I'll do is like. So this is interesting because I'm working on episode 8 episode 8 of our ongoing episodically modular series, Make Great Pets. So this will be kind of meta a little bit because I don't know if that episode is when I'm recording this. I haven't recorded episode 8. I just started writing it on, what I recorded on Friday, so Saturday, or did I record it on Saturday? Oh no, Thursday. So I recorded the episode on, the previous episode on Thursday, so I started writing on Friday. And now it's Monday, and I'll have until I have about a week and a half more of writing. But I'm just kind of coming up with, what is it going to be the general story of the episode? And I have a loose idea of the episode, but so let's just randomly take a card and go. So I'm going about halfway through the deck. You got to be kidding me. So this is funny because of the title, but it doesn't have to do with it. Sandman. Sometimes your best friend is the one you make yourself. And it shows two children playing in sand. But then there's a giant sand sculpture person. Looks like a gingerbread person a little bit. And sand is actually running through their hands, and then one of the kids is playing with it. Okay, so let's go through Sandman. This is card 27. For magical snowmen to troublesome robots, there are countless tales of creatures given life in unexpected ways. They can be true allies, or they can be causers of toil and trouble, or both. Sandmen are also often organizations rather than individuals. Bee Colony, Borg, in Star Trek, composed of millions of pieces. They're amorphous and hard to defeat. A Sandman can also be a natural force, such as a building storm or any persistent irritant that wears down your hero over time. So, okay, here's the questions. How could your hero create an ally? What would they be made of? Consider how your hero's tactics would change if they're battling countless tiny things instead of one big boss. And sand slips through your fingers. What item or achievement might slip away from your hero? And we'll use these cards in the future. So, I don't know where this will go. So I'm working on this episode, right? And the main character, this is what's interesting, is Rin is the main character for the series, but Rin's there to help someone. And where I'm at in the writing process is kind of trying to define who it is Rin's helping. And I have a general idea of that, but I haven't gotten to know who the person is. As I was kind of more going through some of the choices they would make, because Rin is in kind of somewhat of competition's the wrong word, but there's also Cinda, who's there also trying to help the same person. But Cinda and Rin have kind of different value systems that they're trying to help the person with. A couple of questions come up is I don't know. I guess Rin is the hero of the story. I mean, it has to be all humble on Rin's behalf, but Rin's who we're trying to root for, because Rin's going to be trying to help someone in an additive way. And I guess you could root for Cinda, because Cinda's trying to help the person in a way where they get what they want now. And the general idea around the episode so far has been, because I was just working at it a little more specifics, was that the character, I haven't taken time to brainstorm yet, but they are possibly, so this will be kind of really interesting, because I don't know what will end up coming, because we still have for Sleep With Me time, 2 weeks is a long time, so we still have the majority of our writing time left. But the idea is possibly the character is like a what do you call that? Like an influencer or a YouTuber. Maybe not. Because I'm trying to see how does that add to their wants and needs. But there's someone who really is good at taking advantages of situations to save money. And they're kind of going through this, because I was like, oh, should this be a 24-hour period or a little bit longer period we're spending with this character? And Rin is their pet. Rin is a tortoise, which is a nod to kind of some of the tales that this is based on that just influenced the idea for these stories. But so this character is kind of they'd be if they were going out to dinner, and I used to do this all the time. I'd be, I'd pause before I reached for my thing, or I'd go to the bathroom when it's time to pay the check, or I'd be like, oh, I don't have my wallet, or, oh, are you sure you don't want me to get it? If you say that, then the person's always going to be like, no, I'll get it. It's the kind of person I've been in a lot of time in my life. Some of the tales, that I was reading, where it's oh, well, I have, I have one ingredient, but if you give me the rest, we'll do that. I think stone soup was like that. That's one of the tales. There's a few different tales that I was reading that had tortoise in it, that were African folk tales. But this character is kind of in between, that's the way they've normally done things, right? And then, but they're in our modern world. So I'm kind of thinking that Cinda will be someone like a manager where it's okay, how can we make the most of this for you? If you already had a YouTube channel where you're here's how to save money on food or meals, but it's somewhat of a gray area way to do it. Here's how to use expired coupons. Normally you'd get, that wouldn't be popular, but again, this is fiction. And Cinda's kind of encouraged them by being hey, what kind of sponsors can we have for this? And they're kind of caught up in it too, because maybe it's bringing them more certainty. And Rin is there, and again, we're early on, so this will be helpful, I hope. So Rin is there kind of like, well, these choices aren't very additive, and really you're just kind of like you're in this, maybe this gray area, but is this what you really want? It kind of like, or why do you want this? This is like when I'm working on it, this doesn't normally come up in the episode, but it helps me when I'm a little bit stuck for me to be, for Rin to ask, since Rin does have a very specific viewpoint, or I'm trying, just what I'm trying to do, to be like, ask the character, this is just in the process, not in the result. Hey, is this what you really want? Hey, why do you, what do you get out of like scamming people? And they say, well, I'm not scamming people. Like, I'm just taking advantage, making the most of the situation. Oh, okay. Well, but mostly I think like a lot of this is from Rin's perspective is like, is this is this what you want the rest of your life to be like? If it is, that's fine. But Rin has a sense deep down of like, I don't think this is how you want the rest of your life to be. You're going to kind of keep going and using like, and then so then the idea that they're kind of doing this as performative too. So they're building a career on it. It's like, do you really want to be like using expired coupons, like, and promoting that or whatever, promoting loopholes? And this isn't based on anything. It came out of like this general idea of the stone soup idea. So anyway, so I don't know. That's really all I have thus far. So how could a sand person? It could be like a colony or small pieces that are hard to get over. Could be Olaf, magical snowman, or something like a robot that's not on your side. Beings given life in unexpected ways, true allies or non-allies. So, so the first question is, hey, try this. How could I guess maybe we'll just answer these. They don't have to be a part of the episode. I mean, I'm putting myself on the spot, but that's the whole purpose of doing this, right? So how could your hero create an ally, and what would they be made of? So far, we know that Rin, and if you haven't heard Make Great Pets, it's hard to explain in the middle of the episode, but basically Rin is in a post-earthly existence, has been given a job as a part of a training program where Rin will be projected into a pet or spiritually inhabit a pet or whatever, at a turning point in somebody's life, and Rin's supposed to help them through their turning point, but they don't have total control over the pet like in the movies. So they're trying to subtly influence a person through their pet. And in this episode, Rin is probably going to be a tortoise. And Rin is up against Cinda, who takes human form, and is able to seemingly fully control her human form in trying to help the person in a different direction, which is, again, this is like not about right or wrong. It's just kind of more about like, hey, this will help you in the short term. Let's not worry about it. And their world philosophies do come up a lot of times in each episode, because what's better for Sleep With Me than a long speech about life philosophy? Okay, but if Rin, who is a tortoise, could create an ally, how could they create an ally, and what would they be made of? So Rin needs help. So Rin's a tortoise. So tortoises, as far as my knowledge of tortoises is very limited, but they have a shell. They go slow. We'll put aside like that they're supposed to be knowledgeable, or they have Tootsie. Like when I was a kid, they were in a commercial for Tootsie Pops, where the kids would ask the owl or the tortoise, like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Which I was never a big fan of. I just found the two flavors of a lollipop and a Tootsie Roll not contrasting in a way that I enjoyed, but that's just me. So there's something there where my brain went. It's like, okay, Toots, could you make an ally what would the ally be made of? Like, so if we're making an ally, so there's a couple things there. Tootsie Pops, Pops, sticks, candy, wrappers, Tootsie Rolls, or commercials. So what are those old TV commercials? And then I'm thinking of, okay, so what would they be made of? They could be made of one of those things. And what would be most likely to be, like a tortoise could do? A tortoise could probably do basic video editing or YouTube, looking up stuff on YouTube. So Ren probably could look up YouTube videos of old commercials. Or Ren could definitely push candy or move candy or candy wrappers. Okay, so then that kind of makes sense in a sense of like, there's sometimes you have to collect stuff, right? Like, or it used to be like, so when I was a kid, there was a couple different things you could raise money for your school, which I think they still do with these different corporations that had like multiple food brands. You could have labels from cans and box tops. And then if you sent them in your school or whatever, they would get money from this company. I don't really know how it worked, but I think it was significant enough that sometimes the schools would do it as part of a fund drive or fundraiser, they called it. So, but there was also things like, you remember, or maybe you don't, because if you're new, like, so there's Reese's peanut butter cups, right? And then there was Mallow cups. And don't do this because Mallow cups do have I don't know if they have an expiration date, but they do expire because the last time I talked about Mallow cups on the show, which was at least 6 or 7 years ago, maybe it was less than that, but let's just say that I bought not an extreme amount of Mallow cups, but I was like, where can I get some Mallow cups? And I went to a couple websites, and then I said, oh, I could buy like a box of them, like just the size of a box you'd see on display at a store. But that's like too many Mallow cups for me to eat, like, except over a 6 or 7 year period, especially when I move and I put them away and then I forget where they are. And those are no longer edible because every once in a while I'll find some and then I'll try to eat them. And I say, okay, these are no longer edible. But Mallow cups in their box or in their, so it's packaged the exact same way as Reese's peanut butter cups, two pack. And you would, but it's yellow. They're marshmallow and coconut or something. I don't even know. Even though I liked them, I was always a big fan of them. Don't exactly know what their flavors are, but so, I mean, it's marshmallow and coconut, I think, but not a overwhelming coconut flavor. Mostly marshmallow with chocolate, on the outside. So, okay, but they had like Mallow Bucks in there or something. Kind of like, I've talked about Cole's Cash. Well, that's weird. A Script Notes episode just came out on my watch. I think comes out on Monday. So, but it's might be it's a sidecast episode. But okay, so to go back to where I was talking about, or like gum or something, like it would come with the, or soda's done this before. Let's say, hey, keep your soda top, or you know what I mean, I think. You can follow me, right? So it seemed like this character this could be actually, so there was just I did not watch the whole thing. Somebody told me about it and I started watching it. There's like dudes, Pepsi, Where's My Jet? But there's also the movie Punch Drunk Love, which was Punch Drunk Love was based on this guy that figured out like the pudding cups, and I think it was like frequent flyer miles. And he kind of figured out a loophole in that, like the cost of the value of the frequent flyer miles versus the cost of pudding cups. And that's like, it was a basic influence somehow for Punch Drunk Love. Like it just, that's what drew, anyway. And then this movie, Pepsi, Where's My Jet, is similar, but it's like I don't know if it's I don't know what you call it. It's like it's a half-umentary. I don't know if that's a word. It's a documentary, but it has reenactments in it. I mean, so I don't think I think it's nonfiction, but anyway, so those two things would say, so what if this character that Rin is working with, like the reason they got into all these short-term scams or whatever, scam's the wrong word, because those two, both the Pepsi Where's My Jet and the Punch Drunk Love thing is not a scam. It was realizing there was a legitimate loophole. But like when did this person ever have like some sort of quest like that? Like a deep down quest where it was like, that maybe they had given up on, or they had stopped. They said, well, these are easier. Like, just eating free samples for, going to get free samples for lunch, or the other things that I had listed kind of like as brainstorming. It's like crashing holiday parties. Like this is something you shouldn't do, or weddings. But like if you live in an urban area, especially at the holiday season, if you just go into every hotel lobby, there's usually holiday parties. You shouldn't do it. It's wrong. But I'm just saying, like, this character, that's one of the things they do. And they're going to, like, maybe they'll talk about how, hey, like, my advice is, you don't go back to the same hotel or whatever. And then the movie Wedding Crashers was based on that idea, too. But that's just one more thing that this character, maybe for this episode, it is like their thing. And I don't know if it's important or not that they're doing it as like a performative thing on YouTube, like I said, or not, but whatever. Like, but what if like they had some sort of other long thing that they were doing? Because the cool thing about the Pepsi Where's My Jet, you can see in the first episode, or the person from Punch Drunk Love, the influence that movie, is that they were like kind of like, it was something that really took a lot of grit in seeing it through. So it's like, is had this character had an experience like that? Or maybe it was something even different, like they had a collection. Maybe they're collecting whatever. Bazooka Joe was another gum. I don't know if it had Bazooka Bucks, but let's just say it did have Bazooka Bucks. And then, so if they had been collecting Bazooka Bucks since they were a kid, and again, this is like the stuff that happens more on your like subconscious level or whatever, but that was like, they didn't realize it was one of their dreams or that was important to them. And then something happened, another earlier turning point where either a collection was lost or damaged, or maybe they were embarrassed by somebody, or they had to, there was a switch in their values. And especially for this tale, it's kind of important that as a part of their switch in their values, and all this happens before the episodes usually, they became less available to hope for long-term things and more susceptible to being like, no, these short-term, I want to feel this way now. And that's what Cinda's good at, is saying, oh, if these are the feelings you want now, I can help you get those feelings. And, we don't have to worry about long-term gains. We're interested in satisfying these feelings now. So I think there is something there, like, because, and there is something like this collective thing. It could be a character in the sense of like a large number of rappers. So maybe like Rin discovers the rappers somewhere, because they can see that. And I mean, it was a sleep podcast, it could be very tactile and visual, because usually when you're doing this, because I did go through phases like this, so I guess it's also relatable. I never collected anything longer than like 4 weeks, but I can remember smoothing out those wrappers. Also, the Bazooka Joe ones had the Bazooka Joe gum. There's two different kinds of gum. Double Bubble, that was the other one. These were sugared gums, and they chew, like they're bubble gums, so you could blow bubbles, but they literally had the only thing. And again, if you own a gum company, please, this is only satire. But the only gum that flavor lasts less than those was Fruit Stripe. Fruit Stripe, best tasting gum, flavor lasts like 1 minute. It was an amazing gum, but it was the most temporary, which now we're in a metaphor by accident, but about this whole stuff. But so I think that makes it sweeter in some sense. That was an accidental pun, but so maybe it is one of these gums that doesn't last very long. So something like Bazooka Joe gum, which, so those had a comic and a joke usually, and maybe they're collectible. I don't know. I'll try to track some down. But I think this kind of falls into this, is that would be the ally. The ally isn't like a conscious, like it's because, but like, so it could be tactile, it could be visual. That's something a tortoise could handle. But it would also be hard for a tortoise to handle. It's like first Rin would have to discover it. Then Rin would have to see that there's this emotional vulnerability related to the character. Maybe her name would be Joey. I don't know. Is that too on the nose? Or Dubal, Double Bubble, Fruit Stripe, Z, maybe Z, like something like, because there was a zebra on Fruit Stripe gum. I don't know. I don't know if I'll even remember this stuff when I go to write tomorrow. The character name stuff. But let's just say for now it's Z, though I think we already used it. But Zeb. Deborah? Maybe Deborah. Zebra, Deborah. Anyway, not important. But so the character has a collection of gum wrappers. There's some, and then what I have to brainstorm, what is their emotional vulnerability related to these wrappers, or how does it play into them kind of changing their focus? I mean, I guess it could be like, this was a shared activity with someone they like loved, and that relationship isn't a functioning relationship anymore. But yeah, that the character or the asset or the thing is that there is this, because it would be like, it would have to be a massive amount, right? And I guess the wrappers, because you would flatten them out. I think that was another thing I was trying to explain, and I went on a tangent. Like, I can remember that tactile activity of flattening out wrappers, so that could be a discovery, and maybe then there could be another discovery, like Ren's like, holy cow, there's a lot of wrappers here, and then it's like, well, we'll go in this other room. And that would be something that's also like creates a contrast because it's like so childlike and childish that Cinda could use that to be like, what is this? Like, this isn't like, if it was like somebody trying to be edgy on YouTube, it's like, this isn't edgy at all. Also, I think like thinking about closing those episodes, it's always nice to have something, a soothing, calm image. So spoiler alert, but it's like, now I'm thinking a bit like being with your tortoise, like snuggling with a tortoise in a giant bed of gum wrappers. Because again, they were like, the gum was like, they weren't sticky at all. But like lying down in a bed of gum wrappers would be pretty nice. So yeah, this is cool. So that kind of really did help and really carried us somewhere with just one thing. So that, like, there you go. That, like, that's just some John August magic there, helping me crack. I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like, so, like, this is the one thing I needed. So I guess this is an example of how it works. Like, is a little bit of brainstorming based on the question, which was challenging. You can't see my insides. But my insights were like, I do not know how this is going to work. Just like kind of John said in the instructions, like, I was like, oh boy, this is going to, I was like, at least I make a sleep podcast so people will be falling asleep. But I was like, man, this is going to be tough to figure out. And that's usually part of it is like, don't figure it out. Let it figure itself out. And then by me kind of accidentally hitting that thing about the candy and the Tootsie Pops, that kind of lost the wrappers which is what I needed. So yeah, card 27 worked its magic. So you should get this up. Put links to the writer's super helpful pack, XL, and you can also purchase them for like classes and stuff if you don't want it for yourself. You can kind of be like what do you call that? Do a scholarship purchase, I believe. So I'll do links to that, and I'll link to script notes. And I'm so glad you got to join me. I'm Scoots is gonna be coming up here with the unboxing of something else we got here in the climbing closet too. You take it away, Scoots. All right, everybody. This is a new kind of unboxing. This is the most traditional unboxing we've ever done on the show. And it'll be interesting. It's based on a catalog episode we put out on Patreon to $10 and $20 patrons, based on the Archie McPhee catalog from this year. So if you want to listen to me going through the Archie McPhee catalog, you could check that out on Patreon. It came out in February of 2023. But this one is, let me look up the price. So this is, I bought 3 of these. So we'll see how long this episode goes. But we'll also price things out. Because this is the Lucky Takeout Surprise, which in the catalog describes, wow, so cute, what value. These takeout containers are stuffed to the flaps with Archie McPhee products at an incredible discount price. In fact, it's over $30 in products for less than $12. Content does vary from container to container, but these are very similar. It does not include a fortune cookie. So we're going to go through them and see. They come in takeout containers that say thank you. They're large takeout containers, so it looks like they're 32-ounce containers. And, yeah, I'm going to open one. You won't hear any of the opening or the paper folding or anything, and we'll kind of go through them, have some fun, see where this goes, maybe price it out. Okay, looking in from the top, I see an impressive, a lot of finger friends. That's something that's been popular. And, so the first thing I see is this one. So this is a finger puppet. It's not I guess you could put on a show with it. It's something you put on your finger, and it's a possum. I guess we'll maybe price it out later, but it's a finger possum. And it's actually it would be good for a thing because it's reaching out to give someone a hug. Is it posable? Not posable. And I have it, let's see what fingers it fits on. My pinky, if I push it all the way. Ring finger, yes. Middle finger, yes. What's that? Index finger, yes. Thumb, not kind of. So yeah, it's a finger possum. It's actually much thicker, the base of it that you put your finger in. So it's very high quality. Okay, this next thing is an action figure. I'm laughing because I don't remember seeing this in the catalog, so it might be from another catalog. It is I don't know, what would you call this? It looks like it's somebody that works for a tech company or did. What does it say on the back? No, that's just like some code numbers. So it has a red hoodie sweatshirt and then blue jeans or, blue slacks. Knees are bendable and its waist is bendable. So you could have it sitting at a desk. Its arms are movable, but then not at the elbows. And it has green kind of sneakers on there. But it's its head is a doggy poo. It's a pug. So this could actually be a Make Great Pets action figure from our series Make Great Pets. Even though this is what I envisioned, it could be. Oh, next up is I don't remember seeing this in the catalog either. It's a human hand, like waving or saying, hey, stop, or hello. But it has feet, so it's a wind-up, walking hand. It'd be very, very fun and silly. And I just got a great idea, which I will follow through on. It's just like randomly putting some of these in my daughter's lunch for fun. Oh boy. Next up, speaking of lunches for fun, I didn't even realize this. There's a what is this? A spork, right? Yeah, this is a spork, a blue spork that goes on your finger. So a finger spork. And I can imagine this would be useful. It would be useful. It's also silly, but, yeah, I mean, don't eat. Yes, eat with your fingers. Eat with your hands because you're eating with your finger spork. We have another finger spork, which is yellow, and it's the same thing. So I guess you could, I guess I could like toss a salad with these, a small salad, with my, like a finger on each hand. And, you got to remember to take these off if I get an itch or something. Wait, hold on though. Okay, you could also sell them as a like back scratcher because they add some length. Yeah, and also so far in the picture of the container, it does show two finger sporks, and it does show a person with a pet's head. So that's interesting. So far we're getting some of the things. Next up is that a finger pick? This one turns your entire finger into a pickle. And there are two of them, which is kind of wild. So I have, two finger pickles. I will try to, I'm going to take some pictures. I'm going to load up my fingers because right now I have 5 things and take a picture and then, I guess, post. Hopefully I'll remember to post it. Okay, I got a deep, the pickle fingers are really interesting. They're very textured. Each one, there's 2 of them that have a different look to each one too. Next up is a bauble, it's one of their friends from outer space. And what is is this a knotter? I guess so. It's on a spring, which I think has double-sided tape, so I can put it in my car, so it'll bounce around. It has a big purple mouth that's green, has 2 arms on springs, and then 4 eyes on springs. It's a green with a purple mouth eater. And it says, "Hey, I'm from outer space. I got a big mouth to kiss you with." And then, holy cow, jackpot! This makes it worth. This is the payoff. It's a thing of mints. It's cupcake mints and frosting flavored, which is one of my favorite frostings. So it's cupcake mints. It comes in a tin. The tin is really nice too. So even when I don't want the mints, it'll be cool to have the tin. And it has 1 ounce of cupcake mints. The tin is shaped like a cupcake and looks like a cupcake, but, two-dimensional. So the only issue is I think most of this stuff is on their website, but we should do this just as a full experiment, right? Really see what we're doing here. So really price it out for fun. But, let's see how we're going to do this. Can we search? Yeah, we can. So we'll search. We'll start with pickles. Problem is I'm on my phone, so this may not work. Not seeing a place to type in the search box. Okay, let's shop by theme. Is there a pickle theme? Yeah, there is. So we'll start with pickles. Yodeling pickle. If you listen to the episode, I was really describing it. Pickle fingers. I got a set of 2. Maybe I'll get a set of 5. They're $7.50 for a set of 5. So $7.50 divided by 5. I have no idea. Let's see. It'd be $5, and there's $2.50 left over, which is 50 cents, right? 5, 10, 15, 20. 25. So what is it, $1.50 each? Let's see, 3, 6, $7.50. So I got $3 worth of pickle fingers. So there we go. We started with that. Next up, I wonder if there's a shop by theme. Can we find mints? We cannot. Okay, shop by item category. Candy. That's probably what we're looking under. Yeah, mints. Okay, so mints. And it looks like they don't have any mints in stock online, which is fine. Okay, so we'll just see. We'll have to price that out. Okay, next catalog, or next item. All right, well, I don't think it's going to be possible for us to look all this up just because, mostly because I'm on my phone. Oh, no, wait, here we go. Hold on. All right, maybe I just had cupcake mints. Here we go. So, we had $3. Cupcake mints must be out of stock, so that makes them even more valuable. So that can make sense. This is a lot of stuff that they had to overstock of or is discontinued. So I do believe we got $13 worth of stuff, though. Let's say that we'll put the cupcake mints at $3. We're at $6. The finger possum, I'd say $1, maybe. So that's 3, 6, 7. Each spork put at $1. Then the action figure's probably $4 to $5. So yeah, we're not going to keep track of money though. I mean, the Nodder is like the Archie McPhee kind of like it's the current thing. So that's box number 1. I got 2 more boxes here. So we'll kind of see. And then I have something else we can open if we. Okay, we got really good news here because very similar. So we have another possum. We have another action figure, but she's is a head of an otter, and it's a young woman. So she has a head of a otter, right? Yeah, I'd say that's an otter. We have another kind of Archie McPhee Nodder. We got 2 sporks, a blue and a yellow. We got 2 pickle fingers. And wind-up hand. So now me and my daughter can have wind-up hand racing. And then another tin of cupcake mints. And this one we have, so this is the 3rd box. So now I have 6 pickle fingers. So now I can give 1 pickle finger away. We have another otter person. We have 2 spork fingers, another hand, and another tin of cupcakes. And, yeah, so it was very similar, like they said, and very fun stuff. So that'll be, that's it for the Archie McPhee stuff. So if you want to listen to that, you could check it out, the whole catalog. And we're doing for our subscriber summer. I don't know if you've heard about it or when this episode will be released, but we'll be doing a bunch of catalog episodes and other stuff over the summer of 2023. For patrons and subscribers. So just sign up. You get to support the podcast, put you to sleep, and you get a bunch of cool extras. Thanks so much, and good night, everybody. All right, this is Scoots here, and I wanted to thank everybody that used to be a patron that has canceled their pledge recently, just because those people support the show. And things change, priorities, like listening. Some people stop listening to the show or things change. But the fact that they supported the show really, really does mean a lot because the shows wouldn't be possible without them. So I want to thank Acacia, Eric, and Kyle. Thanks, and good night. Emily, Liz, and of course, this isn't loading. Emily and Liz, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Carrie, Blurp, and Erpel, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Julian, Isabel, and Emma, thank you. Thanks, and good night. DXB, Renee, and Wyatt, thank you. Thanks, and good night. Wydell, Tyler, and Thomas, thanks, and good night. Stephanie, Sharon, and S.E., thanks, and good night. And anybody else that's listening that's ever supported the show on Patreon or spread the word about the podcast or send me a nice message, supported the sponsor, supported the show on Apple Podcasts, bought sleep phones or other Sleep With Me merch, thank you so much. And you can always let me know, like you can send me a message through the contact form on our website or fill out the form at sleepwithmepodcast.com/sponsors. because couldn't do it without you. So I really do appreciate it. Thanks. That's how we're able to come out free twice a week and to grow as a show and more people to discover is just because of you that take action. I really do appreciate it. And I normally, I don't know if I say this at the end of the show, but I also appreciate the people that don't do anything if you choose to, right? You're like, well, Scoots, that's not really for me because I can relate to that. I'm not always a doer, right? I'm a layer lower you know what I mean. So I've been there too. As long as you're making a choice, you say, well, I like that idea on paper, but I choose not to. That's a valid choice as well. So thanks so much. And here's one more choice to listen to how we're able to grow our archives of these Tuck You In sponsors.